Everybody's in here at 7 o'clock, and you come walking in at 7:45. When the is it going to stop? Come in at 7:45, then you leave here at 3:30 in the afternoon, and then you don't.
Here we are, Friday. Happy Friday. Me by myself. I don't even know if Matt's available. I don't got time for that shit right now. Sorry, my client. Got to get this out of the way. Got a couple, about 2.5 hours, and I have to run my car up to my little Sammy Poo because it's sat now for over a week. And whatever throws the code in the transmission, it's like some little thing doesn't quite slide far enough. And Sam wasn't sure that it would work, but I put like 2,000 miles on the car without it throwing the code for the anti-slip, and when that happens, it kicks the cruise control out. And seeing how I am going to be in a week or so, don't get excited, Jolson, I don't know when, going to be going down to take care of some projects for Jolson, probably for a while. But he's a little closer than Jeremy, so I won't be staying down there until it's done. I'll come home to spend some time with my wife and then go back down there. So I'm just going to look at this one thing, no shots. I'll make up for that later tonight during Locked and Loaded, even though this is 9%. I have no idea what Locked and Loaded is going to be tonight. It has literally been like 2+ weeks of total chaos in my life. It's been good though. First down at Jeremy and Caitlin's, and then with NIHAP here. He has been on the road for at least an hour, heading down to see Jay at Elite Ammunition. Smells citrusy, looks like beer. Cheers. Oh, I'm gonna have to. These aren't like really expensive either. I'm gonna have to get some more of these. This is, It's got like a smooth, almost like buttery caramel kind of a citrus flavor to it. And I want to say big thanks to mostly Big Jeff, Gunwild 1. I haven't added anything to the slideshow presentation in over 2 weeks, so I don't even know if I'll ever catch up on what Brad shares at the Captain Dick nozzle. In case Brad sees this, I just would like to reiterate, everybody that is a deplorable is in the Captain Dick nozzle. So, I only share special stuff with the deplorables. And actually, yeah, nudes is what I meant to say. So everybody that is a deplorable is in the Captain Dick Nozzle Club. A few of you don't follow it as in depth because you don't want to listen to the ching ching ching. You probably have both of them silenced, but now not everybody that's in the Captain Dick Nozzle account. First of all, I have it set up so that people can add their own friends if they want, which I really don't care. But if turns out there's a libtard anti-gun piece of shit, I will delete them faster than a 20,000 CFM fan removes a fart from a car. I know some people like to say, just go along and get along. Some things, yeah, it's important to me. I don't have a fucking second of my life reserved for anybody. Anybody. Doesn't matter. Friends, family, someone on the street that believes in the liberal mindset. It is a fucking absolute disease. If you look around right now and still want to mumble an anti-Trump thing, like what? You're going to vote for Biden again? And anybody that voted for him in the first place, you're a fucking complete idiot. These people, I mean, we actually ran across a guy at the gun store. That went, I mean, I might have already talked about this. It's been a lot of alcohol in the last 2 weeks. At the gun store, a gun guy talking about how he could never vote for Trump, and he's going to have to vote for Biden the second time. That was when I was done. Fuck off, you're an idiot. You are a fucking clueless, goddamn non-American, worthless piece of shit. Other than that, I don't have a strong opinion. Okay, first to Smile Money saying first. Jolson says, we need more cowbell. I haven't been listening to Jolson for the better part of a week. Why would I start now? David J. fucking Brown says, hello, lads. Then Jolson says, H6. I believe H6. Oh, sure. Knock shit into the board. Move the drive for the card. H6, like I tried to tell him, H6, H5, and H4 have already previously been called. So that one's already been called, and it was a hit. Then he says LGB. Was that let's go, Brandon? Rich Huff says cheers all, cheers Rich. Then Rich says I'm back from Tennessee. Salty says, never let fear of striking out keep you from playing the game naked. Babe Ruth. Mr. 27 says, Multi-Gunman, what did Babe Ruth say about being walked by a pitcher? Naked? Mike says, cheers, mates. Cheers, Mike. Yeah, I think all I could do is go back through the deplorables. Not even time to go through. I'm starting to get carpal tunnel, and my hand went numb. Moving all of the it went from 6,735 to 6,973 just off of the deplorables alone. And those are the acceptable ones. So, again, if he hears me say this, thank you, Big Jeff, for the... he always shares... There's, I would say, of... God, I don't even know. Obviously, almost 200? No, over 200. Over 200 shared by Big Jeff. What should I say, like 202 shared by Big Jeff. I only had to not use 2 of them. And they weren't even full-on nudes. They were just the kind of thing that WokeTube would use to their advantage to try to adios somebody. As of right now, I have no active strikes on either one of the channels. Even though every day is a violation with WokeTube, because they, if I put up a, speaking of, God damn it, Nihat. What the fuck? Now where, that was like something I was going to send to Hector. Yeah. Whatever I was saying before I was really interrupted by scantily dressed guys. See now, WokeTube would let something like that fly. They'd probably let a fully naked guy pass, because WokeTube is filled full of the all of the people that like a decade ago would go to a mental institution and not somehow get some kind of say in our society. I also want to say that yesterday, and the reason that there was no brew review is that me and Nihap took care of some stuff in the morning, and then we went and checked out a range. Now, we were told that it was 600 yards. I forgot to bring the rangefinder with to verify this, but I really don't see, I could be wrong, but I just don't see how it's 600 yards. 5, I would believe. But just a beautiful place. I need to get some information to verify that that it would be okay, that we are able to use this as a shoot-a-palooza, or say reunion site next year, that kind of thing. So I have been signed up as a member. We were also told that membership wasn't even necessary, that it was a free place. Now, getting down there, I found it hard to believe that it was that it's totally free, and that they don't expect that if you're down there, like, hopefully it's not like Island Lake, where the only way that I would have 40 people out at Island Lake is if 20 of you were members and we brought a friend. Now, I just want to make sure I'm doing all the right things. Don't get off on a wrong step. It is mathematically, it's well, let's just say that it's a nice drive, and it's good. And we've verified that there's gas stations along the way. There's a gas station in town. There's a nice bar restaurant where we verified for you guys that the buffalo chicken wings with the buffalo flavoring on them were really good. And their special yesterday was a double cheeseburger. And we both had fried onions on it, and the fries, which I don't know if they had like a Parmesan shell to them, or it was just because we had fries came with the wings, which was also a special, but I actually didn't have any of those fries, but they looked completely different than the ones that came with the burgers. The burgers were exceptional. Katie, I think was her name. She is one of the main bartenders. The place is owned by her sister, and they actually they have a Bloody Mary mix that is actually on the gun. So the downside was is it was a little more on the runny side. In all fairness, I still thought it was a 7. And I told her that. I also told her, I told her that I believe in, the total honesty, that there's no sugarcoating it. I said it was a 7. She actually said she was kind of surprised that she thought it would be lower, but I thought it was a 7. And but I did say I would not, if it was available in a store, I would not buy it to make Bloody Marys. There's other things that I like a lot more. But having said that, and I didn't try one with it, but I felt it would have been an exceptional beer and bloody mix, like 1/3 to 2/3. I think that would have been outstanding. So, but it was a nice place. It was a clean place, and we both made the comment about how, some places you walk in there and everybody looks at you like, "What in the hell are you doing in here?" And I'm gonna rip your head off with my eyeballs, that kind of thing. But after me and Nihap were talking about it, I did happen to point out, I said, you know what I think really makes a difference on this particular location is it is on a snowmobile / four-wheeler side-by-side route. So they probably get a lot of people that aren't necessarily locals in there. But the guys that were locals, we were there for like 2.5 minutes before, we're talking to everybody sitting at the bar. So it's really nice. Nice atmosphere, make you feel like you've come home to a place that you frequent a lot. even though it's the first time I've ever been in there. But yeah, this range, I feel that somehow monies have to be involved because it was well maintained. Something like shit, I'd have to go back and somewhere between 6 and 10 covered rifle positions built with the building over you to keep you out of the elements and the hot sun. Then there was 4 or 5 that were outside of being protected, and all their tables that they had up there were just like the one that Johnny Watson built for me that's up at our shack. The ambi seat and shooting tables, there was 4 of those plus all the covered ones. That's the rifle area. They had a shotgun area. Over there they had a dedicated pistol area with it was 4 or 5 more of those tables. There's a handicapped accessible porta-john out there. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that the farthest set of targets, so there was 50 yards, I would say 50 yards, 100 yards, 200 yards, 3, 4, or it might have been 200, 400, and then whatever the last one was. I'm guessing that it's a 500-yard range, but it might be 6. It could be 6. But let's just say that the farthest target setup is 600 yards. You can drive a car to it. NIHAP drove the Tesla right to the farthest one. There's a zigzaggings because they're staggered, like here, 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 and then back over here for the farthest set. They use these 4-foot by 4-foot corrugated plastic panels that are then attached to 6x6 posts, so you can hang a shit ton of targets. I would say you could staple them on. I have a hammer stapler, and that never works on anything that could possibly move. So I brought out tape, and we taped it on. Love her, and it worked absolutely awesome. No exploding targets, but not only is it okay to shoot steel, they actually provide steel. There was at the 100-yard, there was the 2 4x4s to hang your targets, and then strung was a 6-inch steel target from that one, and then there was a 6-inch target hanging from the 200-yard one. And may I say, both me and NIHAP took the virginity away from that, and both of us hit the 200-yard target as you see this configured. I shot 3 rounds, realized that it was shooting very low. Coincidentally and cool, I actually had the front sight post tool in my range bag, and I just went, yeah, that should be good. No clue, just dialed it down like four turns, four half turns. Then I shot 3 more groups, and I was like, perfect for elevation, and I was a little left windage, so I set the windage on the back blade. Just took a couple of guesses. I think I went 4 clicks over, and shot 3 more, and put 1 as a perfect bullseye. Now, I'm not saying anything against the lovely ladies, but I'd rather ride this on a Friday night. Did a bullseye, had 1 to the left and 1 to the right. So I figured spot on. And then I took I think it was my second shot at the 6-yard or the 6-inch steel plate at 200 yards and nailed it. So here's what I've learned. This is chambered in 300 blackout. And I told NIHAP it probably would have been best that I did not take that out and shoot it, because now I have 0 plans zero plans of using that as a giveaway rifle, or if I do, I would. This is. I have shot 300 Blackout, but it was Josh, aka Urban Armed, and his was completely set up to be an operator gun. I mean, literally, we could shoot it right here in the house. The loudest noise that it made was the bullet hitting the trees. As a matter of fact, you could watch it go out, because suppressed rounds and subsonic suppressed rounds, yeah, when you pulled the trigger, you could hear the firing pin hit the back of the primer. We brought out some subsonic, and we brought out some normal rounds. The subsonic were unsuppressed, obviously, were still pretty loud coming out of there. But you could definitely hear the difference between a full power and a subsonic as far as the way it sounded when it left the gun. So this one is now officially on a subtle reconfiguring thing. I am probably going to put that green fox red dot. See, I had it set up just so, I'm like, here's another one, just going to bring it to the proving grounds and put it in the safe and figure out what's going to happen to it somewhere later in life. Every now and then, certain ones grab the old Second Amendment gun-loving heartstrings, and I don't want anything. I want to take them in, and I want to coddle them and give them a home. And so this is the first time I've actually shot 300 Blackout that wasn't like suppressed. Yes, I thought Josh's, I think it was a 10.5 inch barreled, and of course, you know, he's cool, owns his own company, makes a lot of money, so it was a suppressed SBR, and so, you know, but I have to say that I had really no desire, nice, love the glass, no desire to really suppress a rifle. But after shooting this, and then remembering Josh's rifle, to be able to have something that you could do, shh, don't wake the neighbors, stuff. You know, maybe if I was to take it in another direction, I would just maybe start over and do something like Alice in an SBR'd suppressed 300 Blackout. But until that time comes, at a bare minimum, that thing was, I mean, the groups that it shot, the fact that we're able, I mean, if I put it in a vise and shot it on paper, it probably would still need a few tweaks. You also got to keep in mind that I don't believe that these sights are real Magpul sights. I think these were like the $20 ones off of Amazon, but I needed to do almost nothing. I've got a rifle, I got a 5.56 back here that it's so turned over just to hit steel. Not even sure where it is hitting on paper. Just to hit steel, the sight is all the way cranked over to it. This one almost died right there. This one is I am halfway between dead center and favoring that side in order to have this come out perfect. But I probably, things that I would normally do on something that I absolutely like, may not. I do have a red. I have a red grip in my favorite flavor, but this works. The only thing that I would want to do, either a large latch or an ambi charging handle, preferably a ambi. There is nothing special about, well, it is one step up. This is a Palmetto State. I think this is one of their one of their coated ones, so it's a little better than a stock, but I happen to have a CMMG flat trigger that I will probably put in this, and the Fox green dot that I bought from Matt. Matt goes, it really look good on there. I'm like, no, Matt, I cannot afford. He has one that I think he's trying to sell, an EOTech. The big nose, looks like a big dick. The original EOTech. I don't even know what model number it is. He has one of those that he's been trying to sell. I mean, if I had a non-gun that I would trade, I would put that EOTech on here, but the green dot Fox one would work out nicely, and then keeping the fake Magpul. I mean, they say Magpul, MBUS all over them. I mean, as far as I know, these are not real ones, but this thing is an absolute blast, and it's this one happens to be a full Palmetto build. I said about the only thing I'd really want to do on here, I prefer ambi controls. I don't think I have any extra. They used to be pretty expensive, but you can find some really decent ones. Mike, if you happen to be sitting on a set of ambi controls in your could go to shore pile, you'll have to let me know on a possible trade. Charging handle, ambi safety selector. Change out the trigger and put a green dot on it, just to let it be able to, it's so much easier just to be looking at where that dot is as opposed to even on the small peephole. But yeah, I'll put it this way: if you are trying to avoid purchasing another rifle and you don't own anything in 300 Blackout, I do not recommend that you shoot one. Smile Money, shooting a Mosin indoors at 25 yards is not fun. I would like to shoot a rifle at 50 or 100 yards offhand, but not many ranges around here allow you to do that. Yeah, I know the only way to shoot the Mosin indoors up at dead on anyway is to have verified that you are not shooting any surplus, steel core or any of the above kind of stuff. Smile Money, you do not need to find a daily drinker. Oh, you do need to find a daily drinker, he says. And Cobra says, is that a theoretical question? Mike says, hey, NIHAP. And then Tomcat says, Michelob Matt is in the house. Well, that was not the case. That was NIHAP. And if you are really confusing NIHAP for Matt, NIHAP is going to be extremely not happy to hear that. Cheap old gun guy. Nobody wants to be here and nobody wants to leave. Go figure. And?
Joe Biden! Fuck Joe Biden! Fuck Joe Biden!
So, the Biden has pushed through under his, almighty God powers that he has, granted to him by Obama, has pushed through the bill to ban TikTok in the United States. So, Well, I guess all you have to do is get a VPN and then route everything through Canada or something. But here's the thing. First of all, go fuck yourself, Biden administration. Obama's third term. Then I believe the author of the bill is a fucking rhino Republican who coincidentally has invested in less than like 45 days, has invested over 1,250,000, somewhere in there, of his own dollars. He has invested that money into the direct competitor of TikTok. He has invested over $1 million, $1.25 million or more into Meta. At what point will these fucking pieces of shit be held responsible? I believe that is a crime. It's called insider. You throw all of your money into company B because you personally know that their rival may be getting banned? Swinging in a tree. Personally, people that know me know that I have little to no faith in whatever letter is after your name. You will have all become them. When the Republicans had the power to take care of things, they still didn't, just proving that they are all part of the swamp. Heaven and Hell Spirits. Well, I didn't get no notification of this YouTube video, but it looks like a good one. I know I'm not first or second or even third. If I'm fourth, I'm a loser. How the fuck is everybody doing tonight? Drink on drink and be happy, because it's gonna be one of those nights where I say fuck it. I hope it was a day ago. I hope everything went as planned for you. Smile Money, nutty with a creamy feel. Was this a brewery review or a truck stop tryout? Then Smile Money says, all I could find was Tugboat Tony and the Pushers. I know I'm subbed to his channel, but I'm subbed on the massively corrupted Ebomi channel. Yes. So being able to find that on there would probably be a job all to itself. Mike says you guys could review Everclear. Just saying. I think I discussed that. Smile Money says it has a warming sensation. Tastes like rubbing alcohol, and that's about it. Mike says, which one? 120, 151, 190? I love the 190 proof the best. Smile Money says, it's like asking which bean produces the best blast. Din says, take a sip of some kind of a liquid. Gee, I thought you knew. I decided to put the GI 45 into the safe and use the beautiful stand that Paul Hasman 440 made for me as a what it actually is. Instead of housing an on-duty gun, it's nice ass. It is housing the gun, I guess the gun of the moment. This one happens to be the yet questionable Grissom that used to be owned by J-Dog, and he had issues with it, and supposedly it got sent in to be fixed, and then it was in my possession. So this, I can't remember if I brought this out to shoot or not, but this still might be a nightmare. Which, if that's the case, J-Dog, all I have to say is, well played, my friend, well played. But if it runs, it is a 9mm 1911, and I do like the grips on it. They feel good in the hand. I can't remember if we brought it out that day to shoot or not, but that is the featured gun of the day, and when it's done here, it'll be going back in the safe, because I should have room for at least all of the pistols that would normally be hiding out down here to have their own space in there. For sure, what I want to do is I'm gonna make it so that the hangers, all the pistols that hang under the top shelf, are going to be entirely the 10mm collection. And that's something that hasn't happened in a long time, but at this moment in time, I think I have enough room, because I think there's, 20 or 21 10mm in the collection? I know it's a white guy problem thing when you're honestly not sure without laying them all out. I found a picture. I was cleaning up my laptop while I was making the video on the spear, and I saw them all laying out on the table, and I was like going, I know there's new stuff since that picture. Since that picture did not have the Megastar, the Smith & Wesson Performance Center, the Kimber, maybe the Laser Aim. I'll have to, maybe one of these reviews I can do that all over again. It's, again, white guy problems when you have to take multiple trips back and forth to, and then I know that there's at least 2 of them unaccounted for in the safe right now, because they serve, I just like to fondle them and serve as an on-duty role, even though I realize that I'm putting, things into, if there's a righteous shoot, I'll just go grab another damn gun and fire it into a pillow down here so it has GSR on it, and walk upstairs with it, because the 2 that are not here that are on duty elsewhere, one is the XDM Elite that I got from Hornet Fixer. I love that gun. Have a holster for it. I have had it as a jammy gun, even though it's much heavier than the present jammy gun. And the J-Dog's favorite / my favorite, which is why it's not down here and always pretty much wherever I am, is the Smith & Wesson 1066. Hands down, my personal favorite of the Smith & Wesson Gen 2 original 10mm. It's the way it feels in your hand. It does have night sights. They, believe it or not, are actually still glowing, and they're not all that bad. It's probably because the vials are bigger than say something like the Heine Specialties. So, but that is, and the controls on it, I just love everything about that pistol, which I mainly have to hide it whenever J-Dog is here. So there is right now at least the Performance Center 10mm is also on duty upstairs. So there's at least 3 10mm unaccounted for in the safe right now. Mr. Mark Mack says, cheers, guys. Cheers, Mr. Mark Mack. Smile money. Just in case Matt is part of this review. Hey, Matt. Redneck Ramblings. Greetings, Captain. Greetings, my brother, from another mother on his other channel. Bad. Matt's in the refrigerator, isn't he? This would be him on his other drinking channel. Yes. Now, I disagree with Matt when he says that this picture looks like it's AI. I believe it's just a heavily retouched picture because I have other pictures of this girl outside, obviously either not taken with a camera of this quality or not as retouched as that one was. EMT says F4 and
But Joe Biden! But Joe Biden! But Joe Biden!
F4 is a miss. I would say, what in the hell are you doing? But I always forget that Colonel Mustard is in the mix. David J. effing Brown. I'm sorry, David, but I do not have the time to stop this right now, being that every moment that goes by until this is empty is time that I need to make sure nothing's in my system before I leave in 2 hours. EMT, the real Cobra Burnout says, hi, Matt. J-Dog is here at work. Cold-hearted bastard, 2 thumbs up and 2, 4, 6 shots. Maybe I'll take you up on some of those later. Probably going to have some Castle Danger Cream Ale and some Fable Folk with Locked and Loaded. McLean says, I want to hear more about Otis. McLean, I had some sage cheese and Cabernet cheese. That stuff recently. I'm gonna burp. Oh, excuse me. Good stuff. McLean says, Matt, I miss you. McLean says, Tony Hawk, Mike Hawk, Black Hawk, what's the difference? Black Hawk. McLean says, hello boys, nice to see you. Now let's get weird. Mr. 27 says 36th. Multi-Gunman says 36 beer. What kind of impression and disgusting all at the same time. Yes. Mr. 27 says, don't forget, Mr. Brewbomi, I like natural brew bay brew jugs. Okay, I'm done here and now. Multi-Gunman says, I approve of this comment. And then he then says, you don't like big fake, like 4 watermelons and a pair of barrel-sized garbage bags. Jay from Elite Ammunition says, much needed vacation from Matt. And Smile Money says, he's back. Actually, no. No, he's not. EJ from Elite says, I might get here, or I might out of here, or I might out of here. I get a lot of farmers that give me old early to mid-90s shotgun and rifles that have lived in their out barn their whole lives. Most are Savage or Sears or Wards, etc. They aren't worth much, but they are cool. I fix them up and get them working for fun. Well, that fun became real during COVID. All sorts of folks who knew me all have a suddenly had to come to Jesus moment. Their anti-gun wives all of a sudden wanted to know why they, read more button, didn't have a gun. So a bunch of tube-fed 22s and single-shot break-action shotguns found new homes. I really like tube-fed 22s. No magazines to lose. My buddy Joe had a really nice lever action tube 22. That was a very sweet gun. I think I told you the story about that one. We were doing something we weren't supposed to. We were wondering about the crosshairs, thought maybe it was glass or something in between, and well, I'm sure it was some kind of a strand of metal, and as it turns out, on older, I think it was a Bushnell Banning, I don't remember what it was, but yeah, the metal that they use to make the crosshair is half the dimensions of a human hair. Ask me how I know. Multi-Gunman says, beer? What the fuck is that? Whiskey is where it's at. And Din with the final comment says, Lager Time, the beer that brought down the forest. I tell you, this Monaco brand is legit. The shit tastes natural. I mean, I don't know, what does this one say? Vodka and citrus liqueur. Maybe that's... Hey, maybe I can recreate that with some of this. And vodka. Hell, what could go wrong? And natural and artificial flavor. Serve chilled or on the rocks. 9%. I mean, this shit's so good it almost makes me want to go grab some more for Locked and Loaded to go along with all my beers. And no, I'm just kidding. Not all my beers. Now on the non-Bloody Mary, non-beer scale, the other, kind of like a shotgun as a never mind, ATF thing. The Citrus Rush. I know that they're the blue raspberry or the blue crush or whatever the hell. I think I've had one of these that I'm like, you know, it was good, but I probably wouldn't get that one from them again. I would definitely get this one again. Actually, does it mix doing this and the blue raspberry or the blue one, mixing them together? So on the non-E scale, see, I don't even know why I'm just probably the first one I've handed out because I've been chicken shit to and no pun intended. I'm gonna give this a 10 on the secondary market, just because it's very good. If you have an issue with stuff that is sweet, I wouldn't say it's syrup sweet, but I would think that if you bought this because I said it was really good, and you took a sip and you went, oh, way too sweet, then I would recommend, like they recommend, that you fill a glass with ice, pour this over it, wait a couple of minutes, and the ice melting is going to probably delete that sweetness, which I personally, I'm just pointing it out because that'd be the one thing that maybe someone would come across and say, oh, I tried that, Eric, when you recommended it, but it was way too sweet for me. Well, don't throw them out, just try putting them over ice. You might be able to get your mileage out of it then. Or mix it with something like 7-Up or Sprite, but then again, I think those are all sweeter than what this is. Okay, going to the club. Oh, and I also want to discuss this, the Ishapore. This is chambered in 308, and I have openly said I am not a gigantic fan of old military rifles. There was nothing, and I truly mean it. There was nothing about the Mosin Nagant the only reason I even bought the damn thing is because so many YouTubers were buying these, and I found out it was $89. What the hell? The ammo at the time. Thank you, Biden. Greatest economy ever. $400 and something for 440 rounds of military surplus corrosive bullshit. $1 a shot for a Mosin. You are out of your fucking minds. Either way, this guy here, chambered in 308, and there's just something that I find so incredibly sexy about this rifle. The fact that the wood goes all the way to the end of the barrel, that it has a removable box mag, that it is based on the you know the thing, the action. I blame gabapentin. You know, like the 303 British and all of the rest of them, very similar. This thing is incredible to shoot. This thing is absolutely incredible. I also hit the steel plate open sights with this. We were having a little problems at first. NIHAP was busy compensating for the way that it was shooting, and I said, you remember when I was screwing around with the sight and I dialed it up to what might have been 200 meters or 300 meters? Well, as soon as I turned it down, incredibly, we were shooting bullseyes at 50 yards with this. The only thing that I really need to do is on the steel target, I was able to see the front sight post. On the target that was on the white background, I lost it. And I might try taking a little bit of my white sight paint and putting a line up the front sight post to see if I can just get it to stand out a little bit more. That, and towards the end of the session, it isn't without flaw. It's got a broken piece of the chassis stock right there. Other than that, I don't really give a shit. It's just such a beautiful looking rifle and shooting rifle, and I can't say enough about what I think about this guy, history and the way it looks. And towards the end, though, we were having a failure to extract, and the extractor, which is right there, you can see it hanging out. It looked fine. You can actually see the spring right there. You can see the spring right by the end of my finger. But what was happening is the spring had somehow gotten bent and it was curled backwards. And when I pulled on the extractor, instead of smoothly moving and gaining tension, it went click, click, click. And I was able to take my multi-tool, what happens to be the Signal, Renko, thank you, and I was able to pull the spring out, but it still looked like it was curled a little bit, and it would fire. I would eject one round, and then the next one, it would fail to eject. And now I'm wondering, NIHAP, if some of my problem wasn't actually the recoil bumping that spring and everything back. Since then, when we got back, we took it apart really nice. You didn't have to drive out a pin, remove a screw, pulled the extractor claw out of it, slid the spring off of the shaft that's in there, and I took and I took and bent the spring to get it perfectly straight. It doesn't have Peronis like Clinton anymore. And I kind of, when I put it back in, I favored the other direction from the bend. I favored the opposite direction of where it was curling when it wasn't firing right, and reassembled it. And after goofing around with it, the spring is actually sitting exactly where I would want it to. But I won't know until I get an opportunity to get it out and shoot it again. And all I can say is that moment can't come soon enough. The next time that David J. fucking Brown wants to go to Island Lake, I will be bringing this with. If I probably won't have a hole in my schedule, Smile Money, to take care of some of the premeditated shooting videos, because I have a list a mile long of things that I need to get done here in town before I can pack up the Subaru and head to Jolson's. But just, Jolson, rest assured, I don't have to get 327 texts every single morning wanting to know if I'm on my way or not. I will eventually be on my way. That, and I think I will talk to you about what you think I will be doing the first time I'm down there. And I really want to minimize how much shit I put into the Subaru. I went for a short ride today after I moved it from the front back to my parking spot out back, and wow, it is impressively responsive when it's not loaded to the bump stops with tools. Okay, in the club, I'm going to hit the button one more time just in case, because right now there's only two of you. Maybe it's the only two that matter. Rich Huff says, cheers, clubbers. Cheers, Rich. And Smile Money says, cheers to the clubber. Okay. So, that's it. I hope to, this will be up before Locked and Loaded tonight, so hopefully you came over for Locked and Loaded. Probably gonna, I really need to find something simple. I'm probably gonna ask the boys, as soon as I'm done with this, ask the boys if anybody has a suggestion. Keeping it on the lighter side, like I said, so much is, I had at least six things, maybe more, that I really wanted to get done around my own house, Jolson. And a big thank you to NIHAP for making all of that stuff happen. Right now, there's a couple of big things, redoing our whole back patio. It all has to be torn up. I have to salvage what I can, bring in more sand, tamp and level it, and then put down new pavers. I'm going to go out into the yard a little bit more to give a wider walkway and a pad for where the grill sits. That's thanks to the greatest economy ever, and the fact that under Trump, I was stashing money away weekly, and I haven't put any money aside since Biden has been in office, but I'm not bitter about it. We took a vacation to go visit John in Maine for 2 weeks, and still had a big cachet of reserves when we got home. But not under the Biden administration, not the greatest economy ever. Suckwads that believe that bullshit. So the back patio is still on the list. Both my screen doors need to be replaced. Obviously, the primary one out front. NIHAP said you should have let me know sooner, and we could have taken care of that before you left, but I'm good with it. I just have a little bit of adjusting to do so that the door goes in right. Right now, the one that's out there, that's a piece of shit, doesn't close correctly. But I mean, that part of the house is not on a foundation. So welcome to Minnesota. I know when I finished the porch after the destruction of the changing out the shitter line that it closed just fine. But now it's so far off, you'd be like, how could this ever closed? Welcome to Minnesota. So that's like the three big things. Otherwise, everything else has been taken care of. Brand new electrical from the back of the house all the way to the garage. New outlets outside where there never was one. Everything is now 12 inches buried under into Mother Earth, unlike sitting on just under the sod. Fresh new outlets and out in the garage, and of course the fact that everything is working correctly is awesome. A few new outlets. One of them was the one out on the front porch that was so worn out that if you plug something into it, and I think you just had to tap on the wall above it, and you slowly watched whatever you plugged in fall out. One of those ones where you gotta like spread the little legs so it would stay in, but. Again, NIHOP, thanks for knocking so much off of the list. And also to Matt for all of the labor help in digging the trench and filling everything back in and then cleaning everything up. Definitely a big thank you. Check this one more time, and then I'm out of here to go take care of editing before I have to hit the road. That is it. Like her. And cheers, and I will see you tomorrow.